The Good Samaritan, a parable of compassion beyond borders. In the shade of the olive trees, the teacher sat, surrounded by listeners, men, women, children, and scholars. One of the scholars, a teacher of the law, rose from the crowd. He was well-dressed, learned, and curious, but his heart was filled with pride. Wanting to test Jesus, he asked, "Teacher, what must I do to inherit eternal life?" Jesus, with calm eyes and a knowing heart, replied, "What is written in the law? How do you interpret it?" The man, eager to impress, answered, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, strength, and mind and love your neighbor as yourself." Jesus nodded with a gentle smile. "You have answered correctly. Do this and you will live." But the man, feeling exposed and seeking to defend himself, pressed further, "And who is my neighbor?" So Jesus began to tell a story, a parable that would reveal the true meaning of love. A certain man, an ordinary traveler, was walking the dangerous road from Jerusalem to Jericho. The road twisted through rocky hills, filled with shadows and hiding places for thieves. And as feared, robbers came upon him. They beat him cruelly, stripped him of his clothes, stole everything he had, and left him lying motionless on the road, half dead and alone, bleeding under the burning sun. By chance, a priest came walking down the same road. He wore fine robes and was a man who served in the temple. He saw the broken man lying on the roadside, but rather than help, he crossed to the other side, quickly passing by. Perhaps he didn't want to touch blood, perhaps he feared being made unclean, or perhaps he simply didn't care. Next came a Levite, a temple assistant. He also saw the wounded man. He slowed his steps, glanced with curiosity, but then, like the priest, moved to the other side and kept walking. Maybe he told himself it wasn't his responsibility. Maybe he felt helpless. But he too did nothing. Finally, a third traveler appeared, a Samaritan. Now in those days, Jews and Samaritans did not associate. There was deep hatred between them, born of long-standing divisions and old wounds. Samaritan would be the last person anyone expected to stop. But when he saw the man lying there beaten, helpless, near death, his heart was filled with compassion. He didn't hesitate. He knelt beside the man. With tender hands, he cleaned the wounds, pouring on oil and wine to soothe and disinfect. He tore cloth from his robe to bandage him. Then he gently lifted the man onto his own donkey, walking beside it as they traveled. They arrived at an inn where the Samaritan personally cared for him through the night. In the morning, he handed 2 silver coins to the innkeeper, enough for several days, Stan said. "Take care of him. If you spend more than this, I will repay you when I return." The Samaritan, an outsider and an enemy in the eyes of the Jews, was the one who truly lived out the law of love. Jesus ended the story and looked directly at the teacher of the law. "Which of these 3," he asked, "do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of robbers?" The teacher of the law, now humbled, replied, "The one who showed him mercy." Jesus said, "Go and do likewise." The story left the crowd in silent awe. In a world where people often care only for their own, Jesus taught that neighborly love knows no boundaries. To love our neighbor is to see the pain of others and not turn away. It is to cross the road, bend the knee, and extend kindness even to strangers. The end.